So hey everyone, I am MAF127. This is my tutorial that'll be done pretty quickly on how I stream pad. There are many ways to do it, but this is how I go about it. So first thing is you need to get yourself a tool to actually stream with. The main ones that I'm aware of are XSplit and OBS. I myself use OBS. So if we turn on, I actually need two monitors for my setup. You'll see why. Just things take up a lot of screen space. Obviously, I can minimize it if I want to, but I have the screen space, so I don't really worry about it. So in the bottom corner here, you see I have OBS, and I'm not going to leave this up too long because there's probably infinite windowing over here. But that's what I use to do my streaming. So OBS, okay, let's put this back up. Let's do settings, and let's cover that to help with the memory issues. Basically, you fill out the settings. There's so many tutorials on how to stream using OBS. I recommend using them. OBS has its own broadcast settings. You can kind of see sort of some of mine as I click through here. They're not really a big deal. Like I said, if you find those tutorials, that's really the way to go. Yeah, so you start there, and what you do within OBS is you first create a scene. Obviously, you see I have a bunch of them because I have a bunch of different things that I toggle through. Some of these are just like test stuff. Other things are just used infrequently. And then within the stream, you set up all the things that you want to capture and show on screen. So if we turn this back on, you can see I have a lot of stuff on the screen right now. I have the game, I have the chat. I obviously have a webcam. I have a bunch of other images because the way Puzzles and Dragons works is that it's very it's a very vertical game, and you have a lot of screen space on the sides. And so, yeah, me personally, it looks a little boring to just have a static picture or to just have blank space. So. We're going to go through each of these pieces here, but let's start with the main part, and that is how to actually get the game on the screen. So I play on an iPad right here. You can play on a phone, you can play on you know, all kinds of stuff. That's really doesn't matter. But what you need is a piece of software on your computer that will capture the game. I use Reflector. Let's see if we turn this on. Then we go to here. So on my tray icons, you see I've got this little thing, Reflector. It's down here at the bottom too. There's not really a window or anything for it. You have to do your initial settings, right? That's in this guy. But you know, even this is not very much, and there is documentation on Reflector's site on how to do that. It's only like 15 bucks, so I didn't mind paying it. I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal. I know everyone has their own economic situations. So you know there are other alternatives. I know Air Server is also pay to use, I believe. As far as Android goes, I know when I first started streaming, I used MirrorOP, and for MirrorOP. The problem with that is, there we go. The hell? Oh. The problem with MirrorOP is that what it does is it takes screenshots of your screen, and then it pushes that image to your computer. The problem with that is it runs at like 10 to 15 frames per second, which is terrible. When you're playing this game, it's very obvious that it's not running at speed, and it's laggy, and you know, there's just a lot of problems. I'm not up to date on the latest stuff for Android. Obviously, so I started on an Android device, but I switched to an iPad. I know Mobizen, I think, is one of them that some people are using. There are a few others, especially if you're looking to root your phone. If you're looking to root your phone, you have a lot more options. But if you're not doing that, you know, your options are a little more limited. And I can't tell you the free or to pay versions, but Mobizen, I think, is the one that I've heard most people using lately for Android. So anyway, once you get that working, right? So you can see once I fire up Reflector, this is the pad screen, right? So this is what is showing on my iPad, which I don't know how to make this work at the same time. But anyway, I'm going to push start now. You see it starts loading the game. It's showing whatever is on the screen. And yeah, there we go. I helped a friend. So yeah, once you get that working, you'll go over to OBS right here. And what you want to do is you just want to add, what do you want? You want window capture. So you're going to do add window capture. You're going to select, this is the screen that comes up, but I'm going to go to the one that I have open because I don't think you can open two of the same window. So we're just going to go here to the game. And so reflectors is called connecting. So I just go in that. So you have an option of inner window, and entire window. It's basically if you want sort of these, you know, this bar here at the top. You know, for the most part, you're not really going to use that. Inner window is usually a pretty good default. Mouse capture depends on what you want. Sometimes I like to just hover over the game and with the cursor to show what I'm thinking about doing. So I leave it on, but for the most part, you never see the cursor on the screen. And these other things you can use for various other options, and I will go over these later when I'm doing some of the other screen imaging. But for the most part, you can just leave it like this, and once you get that, right, so if I turn all this other stuff off, there we go, right, you basically end up with an image like this. And let's see, can I go? It's not really working how I want it. Anyway, you end up with the image like this. So it's showing the entire thing, which, right? So it's showing like my battery life and all this stuff. And this is where if you pull up the properties, go back to monitor. God damn. We go back to monitor 2. All right, so we go back to the game. So this is where we want to enable this sub-region. And basically, you can select the region that you don't, or that you want to show. So this gets rid of the black borders. They're kind of a hassle, but you just have to do this once, and every other time you load up this scene, you'll be good to go. So now if I turn this back off, you'll see that the borders have been cut out. You can't see my battery anymore. And it allows you to make this very vertical screen a little bit bigger since you're cutting out the borders. The next thing you want to do is turn on a webcam. There we go. Right, so here we go, webcam. To me, this adds a lot more to the streaming experience as people get to see you and interact with you better. I know this is not a popular thing in the pad community, but me personally, as far as stream goes, being able to see the person you're talking to is very useful. So for this, you want to select, or you want to go, oops, let's see, you do add, crap, gotta move this back. So you go to add, and then you want to do video capture. And when you do that, once again, I don't think I can have 2 of these. This screen will open up. There we go. And you select your driver. This is my webcam. But the problem with that is you can't use your webcam for 2 devices at the same time, or for 2 things at the same time. So what I went out and did was I got this app called SplitCam. Let's drag this on over. So it's free. So I'm going to warn you, there are random ads that pop up, but you don't have to use them, and you can ignore it. And really, once this app's open, you can minimize it and pretend it doesn't exist. Anyway, it allows you to use your SplitCam or use your webcam for multiple things, and I will show you in a minute why I do that. So normally I would do this. When I first started streaming, I just went to here. The other thing is, or since I started recording the videos as well, I went to this as it's helped me out. If you're like me and you have a webcam with a mic, I turn this off. If I don't turn this off, it treats the mic as a mic, and then it treats this selection of a mic as a mic, so then you get a lot of echoing. So if you have a setup like that, which I do, make sure to disable this, and then you have your webcam. Well, let's turn this off, and so this is what our stream is starting to look like right now. So the next thing is, as I know, this is pretty probably game specific, but I know in the pad community, a lot of people like having the chat up. I like seeing what other people are talking about. And to be fair, a lot of the time when a pad streamer is streaming, they get pretty focused into the game and what they're doing, and they're not always reading chat. And so for long periods of time, they may just be ignoring chat altogether. And so it allows other people to see what's going on and interact. Like you can come into the stream a little late and you can kind of see what people are talking about. So to get the chat up, let's turn this on. So you can see over here, this is my Twitch dashboard. I have a plugin for Twitch. It's called Better Twitch TV. And it gives you access to a few things. First is that you can, once you've popped out chat, well, you don't have to pop out chat. I like popping out chat just because I can move it and resize it and do whatever so that it fits the stream screen. But you can leave it in there. So right over here is the chat window. So Better Twitch gives you all these options over here. And so the options that you want to use are obviously, so this is default how your chat looks when you pop out. But for this chroma key option is useful, and you'll see why here in a second. So you're gonna pick black it out, and then in OBS when you go to add chat, right? So you'll do add window capture, like we did before. Well, why did this scroll up? Okay, so you'll do window capture like we mentioned before. You'll do the subregion so that you avoid the borders and the send message and the stuff at the bottom, because you don't. I mean, nobody needs to see when you're typing stuff. And then what you're going to do down here is use the color key. So you're going to check the box. You'll go to select, and then you just put this pen anywhere you want it to grab any of the colors on your monitor that you want. So you can pick black, white, whatever, and it will take the image that you have, and anything that's black, it will ignore it. So it picked the chat. The chat is black. The background of the chat is black. That's why you have the chroma key. And so basically anything that's black, it ignores. Whoa, cancel. So if we go back to this, and I turn chat back on, right, so here's chat. You can see the chat, and everything looks good. But like I said, if you turn this off, you can start to see, you can see the background. It doesn't match with what else is going on here. And in general, I think it's just not, it's not as good. So I turn it on, and we have a seamless chat. All right, what else is going on here? So another thing is a lot of people like to use bots to help out with their channel, or play music, or do commands, a bunch of things like that. The one I use right now, it's called Nightbot. And if we go monitor, nope, 2, you can see this is my Nightbot window. It's just the nightbot.tv. You go there, you set it up. It'll warn you if Nightbot's not in your channel. You just click join. If for whatever reason you don't want Nightbot in your channel, you get rid of this. And so Nightbot allows you to do all these things here. and I'm not going to get too much into this, but you can set up custom commands. These are a few that are set up in my channel. It gives it's very useful for information that you don't want to say a lot. You can just have your mods or someone in your chat just be like, "Whoa, what's your what's your pad ID?" And I don't even have to answer. Somebody can just go in the chat and do exclamation point ID, and then it appears on screen. If we take that off, you can see that I typed in, exclamation point ID. My Nightbot tells what my ID is, and you can do that for a lot of things. There's a big, API for it, so you can do a lot more intricate commands than that. But I personally haven't really explored it that much, so it is in there. It is useful. The other thing is you can use timers. This can basically be to advertise things in your channel, answer frequently asked questions. So if people are constantly asking you what your ID is, you can just put on a timer and say every 20 minutes, put my ID in chat. The other thing that's really useful is song requests. All you do is you go into Auto DJ and you push play and it'll start playing songs. You can go into personal playlist and add your own music. The one thing I would say is if you're going to do this, remember you can't post this stuff on YouTube, and your archives will also be muted. Copyright and all that. Anyway, one of the things I do in my stream is I just do a window capture of this little area right here, and it just shows the song and who requested it. I do song requests on my channel, and that's also what Nightbot allows you to do. There's a lot of commands on how to do that. There's tutorials on that. I'd say check those out for those details. But Nightbot is what I use to do that. So lastly, you can kind of see that this is all of the stuff that I have on my stream. For the most part, this is all the relevant information. But it's boring. So I went ahead and I made myself player card, just as a joke, and the black background is kind of boring. That to me, that's what everybody does, and I don't want to be like everybody else. So I went and made a background. You can see if I take this out, it's just the pad logo, and that's just something I photoshopped real quick off of other images. So you can throw in a background. People ask me a lot what dungeon I'm running, so I tend to put that up here. I try to use a lot of the features that are in the game so that it looks like I'm actually I actually care about the game. I try to make everything look like it fits together. And the last thing is alerts. So if we go to this is another thing I use. It's called Twitch Alerts. It lets you know when people are following, when people subscribe, donate, whatever. Oh, I didn't know there was one for hosting now. Okay, apparently there's one for hosting too. And so basically what you do is you click this little launch button. I'll close that there. We'll just do this all over again. All right, so you open this launch window. You can resize it to whatever size you want. I just know that my settings, that if I put OBS in this corner, that I want this to fill up the rest of the space. But you can set it however you want. And then you can go in, and these are all things, all your settings that you can change around. I've got mine set up. Hopefully this will work, and you'll see the test. The other thing is, when you do the window capture for this, you want to do the chroma key as green. So you're going to use the chroma key, and then you're going to get your GIF or whatever you want to put up there, and chroma key, and you can put your, you can do text and all this fun stuff. I haven't really messed with that too much. I just put in my own image. It's just sort of what I use, and then within OBS, it's actually in this top right corner is where I put it, but it could kind of be anywhere. Whoops. Test. So hopefully in my screen you'll see it. Hopefully, please work. You worked once. All right, it may or may not come up. Who knows? But it's supposed to appear right above the chat. That's where I put my follow. And you saw the big image that was up there. You know, then OBS. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I might have to do some resizing. I'm noticing now that doesn't really show as great as I like. But anyway, that's how that works. Oh. Sorry guys, didn't touch pad. Totally saw my password. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, so the last thing is, I was talking about the webcam and why I needed to. So I know a lot of people where they come into the chat and they talk about how the stream, you know, they just got to the stream and I was signing off, or I just beat a dungeon and they just saw the final move and they wanted to know how I did it. And what sucks is that I like to play music during my stream because I hate the in-game sound. So I have that muted. So when you go and watch the archives, everything's muted. You can't hear me talk. You can't hear anything. It kind of sucks, right? It's not very good. So I wanted a way to record the stream without the music. OBS does not have a built-in way to do this, and it's partly a Windows issue. Basically, the default sound from Chrome is sent to the same place as sort of your mic and a lot of your other things. So you can't just turn it off. If you just turn it off, then you'll have no sound for like anything. I don't know. I'm explaining that poorly, but that's kind of how it works. So what I've had to do is I've had to open up 2 instances of OBS. And in the second instance, all the settings are the same, right? Because it's the same OBS. I just turn off this guy here, and basically any of the sound that is coming from the computer, it no longer captures. So unfortunately, this doesn't allow me to say turn on the game sound, because like I said, that goes to the same channel as like Chrome or whatever you're using to use Nightbot. But it does allow you to hear me and to chat. And honestly, if you turn on your own music over it, it's exactly the same stream. You know what I mean? So because I have these 2 instances, and you can only use your webcam for one instance, I needed a tool that allows me to use my webcam for multiple instances of things, and this is why I have that. So that's pretty much it for how I stream and my setup and all of that. So if there are any questions, now would be the time for you guys to ask them. I know I missed 1 or 2. You just joined. Yeah, so I know with OBS, if you go online, you can look up, what was that called? I don't know. If you just Google like OBS stream settings, they have a thing where you put in your like your upload rate and a couple other things, a couple of your hardware features, and if you punch those in, it'll give you suggested settings for how to make your stream look better. And that's where I would start with that. Why can't you use stones? That is another bot that I was trying out today, but I have turned it off because I don't I don't want people putting in all kinds of commands and crazy stuff when I don't know basically everything that it's using. All right, yeah, so that's going to be it for this tutorial. I thank all of you guys for watching. For those of you that are watching this live stream version of the tutorial, it will be going up on YouTube when I'm done streaming here. So if you have any questions, feel free to post them in there, and I will try to get back to you as soon as possible. And yeah, I think that's it. I will be taking a quick break, and we'll actually play some pad. So see you guys in a few minutes.